Hey, how's everybody doing out there? I'm working out the noise in the background and things like that on this lapel. Um, it's 80 degrees, 82 so degrees, so I'm going to turn on the AC because otherwise I have to open the window, and if I open the window, you're going to hear a lot of wind. So hopefully this ain't too bothersome for you. Uh, Earlier on my recording, I, in error, stated that today is the 2nd of June. It is actually the 3rd of June. Um, yeah, it's rough. You know how it is to keep up with the dates and the times and all that kind of stuff. Lots of stuff going on all the time, right? We know what's happening. So you know, charge it to the mind and not the heart, or vice versa, however you want to look at it. But today I was studying. Today being day 57. Again, June the 3rd. The time now is 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, so had an interesting lesson today. Very simple, but straightforward and hard hitting as usual. I had to consider as this, the orchid mantis. The orchid mantis. Yes, I believe it's an insect. Okay, but it looks just like an orchid. Okay, if you haven't seen it, take a look. It's a marvelous creature. And so, the scriptures tell us to consider the ant. In other words, to watch it, perceive what it does, its behaviors, why it does what it does. So consider the ant. Why? Why? Because as you're about to find out today, we can actually learn things from nature itself. Most all things that we have, especially in construction industries or earth moving machinery and what have you, man has learned to observe animals in their habitat, and we have borrowed from their behaviors. We have borrowed from their skeletal systems, if they had a skeletal system, if you know what I mean. Bugs don't necessarily. Okay, you get it. But anyways, we borrow from nature itself, and we mimic it, and we use it for our purposes. And so we consider the insects, we consider, excuse me, long day, 10 hours, bear with me. We consider the larger animals and what have you, you know, to our benefit. And so today, again, I was considering the orchid mantis. And so the orchid mantis is said to be, at least in the video I was watching, said to be the best hunter pound for pound, I'll say. Okay, why? Because it is able to adapt to its surroundings and mimic the appearance of, yeah, you guessed it, the orchid flower, right? So when its prey, or when a particular insect, even birds, small birds, they said this orchid mantis is only roughly 2 inches long, but it can take, and has been known to take down a bird or birds, bumblebees, what else did it say? Lizards, small lizards, etc., etc. So not a joke in the least, right? But how is it able to do this? Because again, it mimics the orchid. It goes and sits in the orchid or on the orchid, and it looks just like it. The colors, it's able to adapt its color, and so then obviously the bee or whatever comes close to eat or do what it does in relation to that orchid, and of course the mantis waits for the perfect opportunity when that unsuspecting insect or animal is just too close, and strikes, grabbing the insect or animal or whatever, and of course devouring it. So I considered the orchid mantis, and here's what I got. So we've already really been talking about manifestation, not manifesting things, turning immaterial ideals, dreams, visions, or what have you into very material things, right? Taking from the supernatural realm, as it were, and bringing it into the natural realm. We know we have the formula, as it were, and so now, but this is just a bit different, I'll say, in that here we're talking about um, accomplishing a goal, you know, using stratagem, using a camouflage, okay? But recognize that the orchid mantis, the camouflage that it has, it was inherited at its birth from its origination. It is natural, okay? So it is using what, as people say, what God gave it. Shake what your mama gave you, you know what I mean? It's using the tool that it was born with. No other tools. Not the show did not say that the orchid finds weapons or uses any other tools. It simply uses the tools that it was born with. And then it sits very still and it blends in with its surroundings. Careful not to act in a way that is uncharacteristic of that orchid. You feel me? All right. Because if that mantis sitting there becomes impatient and begins to make movements that are not characteristic of that orchid, then the gig would be up, right? And the unsuspecting insect or what have you would be tipped off to the presence of the mantis. And likewise us, if we are in pursuit of a thing, right, then it would behoove us, number one, to stay true to self, to use those things that you were given, to use those tools that you already have. Okay? You don't need to try to find synthetic ways to get what you want, or cheat ways to get what you want. Use the ways that you have, that you were born with, your talents, your personality, your character. All right, that's why these are tools that you have naturally. And but the mantis knows what the heck he or she or it looks like. Follow me here. The mantis knows what it looks like. I don't know if the mantis has mirror. I don't know. But obviously the mantis knows what it looks like because it finds a flower that it can blend in with. So it knows what it looks like, and it's smart enough to find the particular flower that is conducive to concealing its presence. My question to us is, are we that smart? Are we intelligent enough to figure that out, to do likewise? Or do we try to hide or be, amongst things that aren't even for us. For instance, we may know, speaking on relations, that a particular individual is toxic to us. Uh-oh. We may know it. We may feel it. We may know it. This ain't going nowhere. I just don't know what else to do, is really the consideration. I don't know where else I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know what I'm going to eat, because I depend so much on this individual that is toxic to me, but I don't know what else I'm going to do. So I'm like, so in opposition to the mantis, I am looking for a outcome that is favorable to myself while bedding down and trying to conceal in a situation that ain't me. There ain't no way that you're going to camouflage in that situation, because the situation is so toxic. You know you don't belong there. We all been there. Consider the mantis. But the mantis is smarter than us and more intelligent than us, in that it knows what it looks like. It knows what it needs. It knows what its personality and characteristics are. It's wise enough to know, and therefore it is able to conceal itself, and then inevitably able to obtain what it desires, what it's hunting for, because it's doing it the correct way. And so, what was the other points to it? I wrote it all down. I put my bag in the back of the car. It's habitual, and knowing doggone well that my notebook is in there. I take notes like all day long. It's just silly. It's just silly. But anyways, the mantis. Consider the mantis. Watch the YouTube video on it. It's a genius species. And again, I guess the takeaway is that to know thyself, a lot of times we suffer the things that we suffer because we don't even know who we are. I used the example before, a lesson that I was taught in the moment, where I'm looking around for something, like keys or something, right? And I forgot what I was looking for. So of course I'm not going to find it. And it hit me that I'm actually, what was I looking for again? In the midst of looking for something, I forgot what I was looking for. So how is it possible for me to find what I'm seeking after? Okay? And so again, in closing, if you don't know yourself, then how are you going to know whether someone is pleasing you, someone is exactly what you're looking for? How are you going to know if someone is what you're looking for if you don't know what you're looking for? Doesn't make sense, does it? So a lot of the problem is really internal to ourselves. We just know we want things, but does that thing that you want fit with your character? Does it fit with your personality? Like the orchid mantis. Are you able to conceal yourself as one and the same with that product? Or if you obtain that product, will it betray your personality and your character? That is a good question, y'all. That is a good question. Because quite possibly, when you say, why did that happen? when I was, I wasn't even doing nothing wrong? Or why does this keep happening to me? Maybe sometimes your universe is doing its job and keeping certain things away from you because it doesn't quite fit. You're trying to put a square block in a round hole, or vice versa, and it just doesn't work. All right, 15 minutes and 23 seconds. Think these things through. This is only to build you up, not to judge or condemn you. I'm learning right along with you. All right. And so I look forward to spending more time with you on the next upload. Please, if you enjoy these messages, if they do something for you, if they build you up, go ahead and give me a thumbs up right down there somewhere. And also subscribe and share with somebody that you care about. Send them a positive message. It's like sending them a flower, letting them know you're thinking about them. All right. With that being said, make it a great day. We'll talk to you later. Peace.